Hey, everybody. Welcome to Route 616. I'm here with everybody. We've got Bill. Say hi, Bill. We've got Ryan.
Hello.
And we've got Moira. Hi. We're here tonight. We're going to do a little movie podcast. We're going to talk about the Aliens franchise.
Both of them.
Actually, Alien franchise, right? Plus all the crap that came afterwards.
There are no movies after Aliens, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I don't know. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm willing to argue this.
Might have some bad news on that front.
Okay, the newest one was actually decent.
The newest one? Are you talking about? You're not talking about Prometheus. You're talking about
Covenant's
the one with Alien that I can't remember what they subtitled it.
Alien Covenant.
Covenant. Yes, that was it.
Covenant. Yeah, that was okay. Visually, it was amazing.
Yeah, and Prometheus was good. They just shouldn't have stuck the Alien branding onto it because they didn't really deliver. But we'll get
to that one. But I want to start with going back, like with Alien itself. When it came out back in the 70s, it was just a groundbreaking film. It got just absolutely destroyed in theaters. Like, nobody seemed to like it, but there was this hardcore group of people, myself included, who'd seen the film and thought, this is, it's a monster flick. It's not what I expected, but it was so well done, so well directed, and it was genuinely scary. The monster design was fantastic. Geiger did an incredible job of it. Just everything about the movie was great, right? And I mean, even the cast was amazing. Like, it was just, it was different. It wasn't like anything we'd really had before, not with a budget like that. Right. So, for back in its time, like before some of you were born.
I think all of us were born.
Yes. You're the only one that was in your 50s back then.
The hell was that?
That's funny.
No, it's not.
You're old.
Don't take his side.
I mean, we're being nice. I would have implied you were far older.
That's true. Bill would have gone worse.
Well, we're going to start with first impressions with Bill, since he's being a dick.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, what do you think?
I think Alien is the best movie in the franchise. Hands down.
Okay, but I mean, like, I guess I'm saying sort of more in comparison as cinema goes. The Thing really, really kind of broke.
I'd put it right up there with The Thing, personally. I think it's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. It's aged fantastically. Like, a lot of old movies, you need to give people warning that, after a certain point when you fossilize, things just stop changing.
That's right. I'm petrified.
Yeah. Yes, but getting back to Alien, with a lot of older movies, if you're introducing a new audience, you kind of have to give them a disclaimer that this is an old movie and stuff might not be up to modern standards. Alien really doesn't require that. There's one or two moments when the effects don't look as good as they could, but 99% of that movie, it holds up today.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's due to Ridley Scott's directing, though, too, because he was able to sort of, when he was putting a scene together, it was just a matter of, not just about the sets, but how he'd set up a camera angle so that you got the concept of the fact that they were on this massive ship. But he also gave you the sort of claustrophobic concepts of, Dallas climbing through the shafts, the ventilation shafts, trying to find this monster.
Really, the only times that I feel like the effects didn't hold up were a couple of times when they had to use a person in a suit for the alien. Namely, when it grabs Dallas in the shaft, and when it gets launched out of the spaceship and tries to crawl, or out of the escape pod and tries to crawl into the engine. Those are really the only two parts that any of the effects in that movie don't hold up.
Yeah. Ryan, you got opinions? Not that we care.
That's valid.
Whatever your opinions are,
that's false.
Ryan's opinions are wrong. So just so you know.
I was
Hang
gonna
on,
say how
they might like it.
I was gonna say how brilliant Ridley Scott's directing was, like you were talking about. But no, Alien is a beautiful movie. The suspense of the whole thing is one of its strongest points. That's one of the key arguments when people are asked of which is their favorite between Alien or Aliens is pretty much, do you like a suspense movie more or do you like an action movie more?
Yeah.
That's one of the key factors. And it's a beautiful suspense movie. It's, of course, that will lead it to be a little slow, but it's the build up and it's worth it. The journey is definitely worth it if you don't turn the movie
slow
off.
is what makes it good.
Yeah, it's one. It needs to be. It excels being that suspense.
Sorry, Ryan. Didn't mean to cut you off. She's just sitting there very quietly, not saying anything.
I don't remember. I play the video games.
Yeah, I was gonna
good.
let Moira talk about the video games too, because
Otherwise, she
To
would
add
be
on.
this episode's Ryan.
yeah, pretty much.
One time in laser tag, I shot a dude, and then his vest said, "Game over, man! Game over," and that was it. And I went, I know what that's from, and yeah. Video games are fun. I like those.
Hey, I know Moira's main note of Alien was was that
Titties.
yes,
Their
and
boobs.
and Ripley is hot.
Yeah, Ripley was hot. Yeah.
That was
Thanks.
that was
My piece has been said.
that's,
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Moira had.
I didn't see. I can't remember watching it. I remember there's a robot that looks like he's leaking white jizz constantly.
Yes.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a choice.
I finally figured out why they did that.
Why?
All the milk that he drank to look human just was sitting around inside his case.
Oh yeah, and it just splurted. Couldn't have been blue. Couldn't have been any other color. That would not jizz. Make that jizz. It's so gross.
Expert
To
analysis.
that.
So gross.
Sticking with the bodily fluids theme, I do want to call attention to one of the best decisions they made in Alien, which was the acid blood.
That was
Because
cool.
on a spaceship, to give it acid blood so you can't kill it
Yeah.
just makes it brilliantly more terrifying.
That is a great layer.
That's a really, really good point. And it was one of the innovative things. Like the gestation of the alien from one form to another was really, really cool.
That's a
Yeah.
weird word.
Right? That kind of gives you a bit of that bug feeling when you're looking at the alien. Right? You know, what's next? Bug. But beyond the gestation, I just felt like this was a film ahead of its time when it first came out. The fact
Yeah.
that it holds up so incredibly well today, and not in an historical context. You can walk into a theater and watch this on the big screen and enjoy it as much now as you could the day it came out.
Yeah, it just works as a movie.
Hell, I just watched it in 2021, so and I loved it. So
Yeah, but I mean, they put so much work into the sets. They put so much work into the concepts, right? Just like Geiger working on the alien design for this was such a fantastic idea to bring him in, because there's a lot of rather unusual phallic, nastiness to it.
I mean, it's designed to strike at every single thing that makes humans inherently uncomfortable, including threats of sexual violence.
Like Ryan.
Except for the threats of sexual violence. There's none of that from Ryan.
No, that's true. That is true. That's fair. Where is Is there anything you want to tell us, Ryan?
no, I'm holding in jokes right now.
Oh, really?
I'm holding in stuff I can't say on air.
Yeah,
Anyway.
okay. That's entirely fair.
I'll say it later.
Oh, that's not good. That's really not good.
Yeah, when they're
But
scared
anyways.
to say it on air, you know it's going to be bad.
Anyway.
On the set layout, though, before we move on, tying it back around to Moira's relationship to the franchise, the
Titties.
fact that they could release the other relationship to the franchise,
Games.
the fact that they could
Got
release a game in the mid to late 2010s using the exact layout from that movie,
Yeah.
and have it also be a classic just speaks to how well they designed that
Oh,
game.
absolutely.
Or that ship.
movie.
I know most of it took place on Sevastopol Station, but they let you walk around the entire equivalence of the Nostromo
I didn't.
in the game,
didn't
and it all
realize.
made sense.
I just was like, cool, a spaceship. And then I blew myself up with grenades more times than I want to admit.
Yeah.
And then I missed all of the aliens. All of them. Every time. Because I forgot to turn around when they would be there. So I was just having a great time. Like, wow, I love this space station. This is great.
Okay. But it brings us to, I think, the movie that Moira may have seen. And it also brings us to a point that is really hotly contested in the movie world, and that's the validity of a sequel. Most films, when they do a sequel, you just cringe. You think, oh, crap. I mean, you look at Exorcist 2, Scream 2, the list goes
Please
on and on
don't,
and
at
on
least
and
for
on.
Exorcist 2.
Yeah. Oh, Exorcist 2 is just an abomination.
Just skip straight to
in and of itself.
Exorcist 3.
Yeah. But they...
Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite movie.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Exorcist 3 is just a brilliant film. Although it is based on, I think, Burnt Offerings by Peter Blatty, which was written right after The Exorcist. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
Exorcist 2, they tried to do their own thing with it instead
Yeah.
of going back to the literature, and that's why it flopped.
yeah. But this is possibly one of the few sequels out there that is just as good as the original. I wouldn't say it's better because I don't think it is, personally.
I prefer the original as well.
You're right. You know, they had the sense to sort of approach it from an action point of view as opposed to sort of this claustrophobic horror in space film.
Is this the one where there was a little girl?
Yes.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Newt.
And then there
Yeah.
was listen, I remember this because tiny gay Moira brain was like, wow, she's wearing a top that's white and I could see her boobs, and I remember that.
Okay.
That's all I remember of the movie. Oh,
Wow.
a robot dude.
Yeah, there's a
we're going
robot
to
dude in the second one.
sometime we're going to have to do a test to see how many movies Moira does not immediately relate to boobs. This will be like, it'll be a contest. Which one is there more of? Movies Ryan has actually seen, or movies Moira does not relate to boobs that she's seen?
Hold on. I'm thinking.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Mrs. Piggy.
I was going to say Scrooge was a tit in that one.
No, but Mrs.
That was
Piggy.
not the dick. Yeah, Miss Piggy had boobs. Sort
Uh,
of. 8 of them, probably.
hold on.
Oh, we've already gone to Chris
There's a lot of
territory.
movies that I go, boob, and then I don't remember anything else.
Right.
Alita Battle Angel. Boob.
Okay. Okay, let's see where this is going.
Anyways,
Anyways, there are a number of versions, actually, of Aliens. The director's cut of Aliens is, in my opinion, better. It gives you a lot more background, right? To watch the sort of just this standard theater release, you lose a lot. You have to make a lot of assumptions that aren't necessarily correct when you're watching it.
Yeah, it ventures into 80s brain dead action movie much more than the director's
Very
cut does.
quickly. Yeah, very quickly. But if you watch the director's cut, you get a lot of footage about the planet they're on first. Right, and that makes it a lot better. Plus, it's got Mac McDonald in it in the director's cut, which
I
makes
don't
it all
know who
worth
that
it.
is.
Captain
neither.
Hollister from Red Dwarf.
Oh, okay. I know who that is.
Bill knows who I'm talking about.
Oh, of course.
Now
More
I
than
know.
knows who I'm
Before you
talking.
tied it to Red, or
I
to
don't know
Red Dwarf.
actors'
Dwarf.
names. I don't
Yeah.
know actor name.
And Ryan's still sitting there completely blanking on the whole thing.
Yep.
You have no idea who Mac McDonald is, do you?
Nope. I already said so.
Ah,
Boop, boop. Put that there.
Bill, you
That
and I,
means you
know,
haven't
we
watched
didn't-
enough Dwarf.
That's right. You're right.
I mean, if you haven't seen Starbuck up the bum of a rat at least once, you haven't lived.
No, it's true.
It is true. King of the Planet Potters. Yeah. I mean, this, and to be fair, this entire podcast could deteriorate into a Red Dwarf podcast so fast.
Any of our podcasts could deteriorate into a Red Dwarf podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll do one.
Well,
I don't know how good it would actually be, in all honesty, because we all love Red Dwarf. There's not really much debate.
3 of us
It
love
would
Red
just-
Dwarf.
And one of us hasn't seen it. I know, but still.
He said he
It
saw
would
the
just
first.
degrade into us randomly quoting Red Dwarf at each other.
I could bring
Yeah,
Ryan into it, and Ryan doesn't. Ryan's a hater.
Really?
Yeah.
And
he's
you're
a
dating
hater.
him, why?
Because I thought I could change him. You can't. It's not how that works.
But you're just too lazy to do anything about it.
Yeah,
Wow. So
What can
proud.
you do?
So proud.
Yeah, he can't watch TV shows unless there's a happy ending.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
Red Dwarf has a happy ending. Rimmer kicks death in the groin, and then there's more seasons.
Yeah, it's
that's
great.
That's pretty cool.
It's true. He won't watch what is it? A series of unfortunate events because he's like, but the parents are dead, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, that's life for some.
yeah,
And
and okay,
Oh my.
how is it bad? Wait a minute, I'm your parent.
you are.
You're just dead to her, Dan.
Yeah, apparently. Don't you
Anyways.
know that?
No.
But anyway, Bill, your impressions of Alien 2, Aliens.
I love it pretty much as the first one. I think the choice to change genres is what makes it work. Because if they tried to do another claustrophobic space horror with the alien, it would just be another mediocre sequel where it basically just rehashes what happened in the first one. And, it's not going to be as good. Some people will like it. It would just fall into the innumerable horror sequel problem, though. But by changing it to an action movie, it let it be its own thing.
It did, and although they did up the horror elements in it, sort of in the first third of the film, there are a number of elements, body horror, as people are captured and incubated, and things like that. So they did keep a lot of the horror elements that worked from the first film.
Yes, but it's very much an action film, not a
it
horror
is.
movie.
Yeah, they kept
The
sort of an
horror
action
elements
mentality.
just work for making it be the same universe and same situation. Because if they just went full action and dropped all the horror, it wouldn't work either because you're not in the same movie. It's just a bunch of space marines shooting some sort of alien.
Another bug hunt.
Yeah, you basically got Starship
g-
Troopers without the satire.
Yeah. Ryan, care to weigh in?
I personally like Aliens a little more than Alien.
I
Disappointed
don't
yet
know
again.
the difference. I remember titties.
They both have
See,
those.
that's
So.
Aliens. Alien was more of an ass movie.
I'm not an ass person.
Alien has titties at the end too.
Yes, but there's that
Titty.
uncomfortable scene of Ripley trying to fight the alien in way too small panties.
That's true. That's true. Anyways, as I was saying, as I was saying, Aliens. I think there's a few aspects of it that I like that make me like it a little more. It is it being an action movie. Normally, I'm not a huge action movie person, but it ramping up things a little more did kind of. I thought that was kind of nice in this case. I like the aspect of the relationship of. I love Ripley reliving her trauma in this movie and having to fight certain aspects of that too, because she expects that the robot, again, Bishop, will be a bad character and ends up being a good one. I love that aspect of the movie, and also the relationship with Newt. Just those three characters and stuff that I love the dynamic with all of them, and those are probably the main reasons I like Aliens more than Alien.
You know, I'm not going to judge you harshly because I think it's so close between Alien and Aliens that I can't really judge someone for liking the opposite one from me more.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge
it's
you
not
any more
like you said you like
usually
Alien
do.
4 the most.
That's too many.
Oh, there's quite a few of them nowadays.
There's too many.
Effectively 6, not counting the Predator, Alien versus Predator movies.
It's like Jurassic Park. You have to stop.
At some point.
It's not quite like Jurassic Park. I would argue there's only one Jurassic Park movie.
The first one?
Of course.
I found a song about a dude who's really sick, and he was like, I'm gonna watch all of these, and he's like, summarizes it with, we're gonna go to the island. We killed dinosaurs. We're gonna go home now. And that's it. That's all the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
In the good one, they don't actually manage to kill any dinosaurs.
That's good.
Don't they?
No, the only dinosaur that dies is the one that gets eaten by the T-Rex and possibly the sick Triceratops.
Maybe you're right. I thought they shot one at one point.
They point a gun at a raptor, but you see all 3 raptors later, so it couldn't have been killed.
Good point. Yeah.
Nerd.
Shall we go on to the abomination that is Alien 3?
Oh my god.
I haven't seen it.
So there is more movies after the first two, to Bill's dismay.
Yeah, the third
La,
Alien...
la, 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 can't hear you.
Don't you do this. Let me get through this. The third film was not what it was supposed to be. That's the first thing everybody needs to know, because...
If it was what it was supposed to be, it would have been actually probably good.
Yeah, the original third film was them landing back on Earth. And, of course, bringing back the alien by accident, and everybody, there's this big battle on Earth against these aliens.
How do you do that by accident?
Well, they were...
It's proven to be shockingly good at camouflaging itself on spaceships.
Yes. Yeah, looks like a big steam pipe.
That's why you do the broom
I
test.
love that scene in the first Alien where Ripley thinks she's safe and heads in the shot for the entire time and you don't realize it.
Yeah. Right. But in the third movie, that was the original concept, was to bring it back to Earth.
That would have been so much fucking better.
Well, everybody says that, right? But, and I do not fully understand what, like, I've done the research, and there's just been so much about why they came up with this second decision, to do this completely different version of the third film, right? Just not have Newt or
just throw all the continuity out the window.
Right, kill off the other two favorite characters.
No Newt mentioned. The other two guys die off screen.
Right, there's no Bishop.
That's technically incorrect. There is Bishop for a little bit, but it's only his head.
Well,
yeah, Bishop's shown. The other two guys are never shown, and Newt's just gone. I think they mention her in a throwaway line.
They do.
That she went somewhere.
It's really fucking annoying how they deal with the characters.
Yeah, they show Hicks and Newt being thrown into the fire, into the smelter. They show their bodies being dumped into the smelter.
They all die. Everybody but Ripley dies, essentially.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the film, they say they were dead, and then they show them dumping 2 bodies into the smelter, and that's it. Right, a little body and a big body, so it's Hicks and Newts, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And then they go off in this movie with this ridiculously great cast, and this pathetically written story.
A ridiculously great, but yet thoroughly unlikable cast, I guess, because none of the characters are likable, including Ripley in that movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you take Paul McGann and Charles Dance, and all these other actors and you throw them into a film, you've got the grounds to do some pretty hardcore dramatic work. But they just didn't do anything with anybody.
This movie fucking sucks.
Their idea of drama was everyone's an asshole now.
Why?
Kind of like one of our podcasts.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Only there's different levels of asshole. There's those who are mean. There are those who don't watch anything that we're actually going to talk about. And there's those who just join in once in a blue moon to give us all a hard time.
Hi.
That's not all she does. She also mentions that stuff contains boobs.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Tease.
Moira will get her time.
I mean, her and
show.
Duke Cody have a lot in common.
I've never
Ryan won't
is.
get that joke because he hasn't seen it.
No, that is.
It's
Moira
a
will
Glass
get her
Onion
time.
joke.
Moira will get her time to shine.
I like that movie.
It's Dave Bautista's character from Glass Onion with the rant about the breastification of America.
Oh my god. That's a
Batista
good
proving that
movie.
he can actually act.
It's a good movie.
Not well,
As-
but the boy can act.
As has been his goal. I was gonna say Moira will get a time to shine next month when we talk about video games, but we'll tease that more later. Before we move on to everybody's favorite Alien movie, I will say that, of course, the next one we're gonna talk about is the shits, but Alien 3 is my least favorite in this franchise. I fucking
And
hate
that
this movie.
worries me.
Yeah,
It's
because
so-
I'd say the next one is the one reason why it would, like, when Dan said that he didn't know why they didn't put Alien 3 on Earth like they originally planned, first thing that went through my head was, it couldn't be any worse, but then I remembered Alien 4 and realized that yes, it could.
It could be a lot worse.
Let me go into that a bit.
Uh-oh.
Alien 3 is my least favorite, but Alien 4 Resurrection is objectively worse, but Alien 3 is just so fucking boring. I would rather watch Alien 4 because it's easier to get through.
You know,
'Cause
I'll actually agree with that. I'm more likely to go back and watch Alien 4 again than Alien 3, because Alien 4 is so stupid that at least you can laugh at the terrible decisions.
If you turn your brain off, you can laugh at a lot of the stuff going on in Alien 4.
No, you can't.
Oh,
Oh, there he goes. There he is.
Hi.
I was going to say, we shamed them so bad that about their alien
failed.
takes that they left.
Yeah, you see, I don't agree with either of you. I think Alien 4 is so bad it's unwatchable.
I did like
It's just unwatchable to me.
I guess another thing I will say I do like about Alien 3, the one thing I like about Alien 3, is I do kind of like that it's supposed to be the wrap-up on Ripley's arc, and I do like the death, but everybody's so fucking unlike. Even
Wait,
Ripley's
she dies?
Even, whoops, I
Temporarily.
forgot you haven't seen. Even temporarily, it's not permanent.
It should have been permanent because her
should have
death
been.
was the one good thing
It was.
in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's a shame
Man.
that you can't even really like Ripley for like half the movie.
Yeah, but I do like the
You
way
know,
they...
I'm also
Until
going
they
to call
bring her back.
positive. I'm also going to call positive to their set design because the actual
Yes.
look of the prison colony is really cool.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I loved the way it looked. I liked a lot of little things about Alien 3, not enough to make it justifiable
No.
or worth watching.
There's some good work with the aliens too.
But there's some decent work with the aliens. And again, like Bill said, the sets were fantastic. The setting was amazing.
Alien.
Even the lighting was amazing.
Yeah,
You know,
the going with the red lighting instead of the like bluish lighting of the previous
Yeah.
films really sets it apart.
It does. And they added a lot of tiny nuances, like having to shave your heads to avoid getting, this really bad lice. And like they took a lot of small details and threw them into the film that give it a bit of depth. Whereas with Alien 4, you have a really bad animatronic alien nose twitching at Winona Ryder. I don't get it. I thought Alien 4 was as bad as Plan 9.
I think we might as well
part
move
of the
into
reason
Alien 4.
just on the transition, I think part of the reason Alien 3 bothers me so much is because it had those hints of actually something good in there.
And it completely drops the ball.
Yeah, it drops the ball on everything. Whereas Alien 4 is just terrible top to bottom. So there's
Start to
nothing to
finish.
do except sit there and laugh at how bad it is. Whereas Alien 3, you
Yeah.
see these things that give you hope, and then they fuck it up.
Yeah, I mean, how you can take like actors like Ron Perlman and Brad Dourif, put them in a film, and make it that bad is.
I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw what Ron Perlman on my screen in that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because he's really good.
Well, yeah, Brad Dourif went from movies like Exorcist 3, to Alien 4.
Chucky.
Alien 4. It's why. Does anybody have anything positive they can say about Alien 4?
I bet there were boobs.
But there were a lot of boobs.
There you go.
If
We're
you
on the
like
right
the 90s, this movie's for you.
I don't.
How?
It's very 1992 Marvel. And anyone who has read 1992 Marvel knows how big an insult that is.
Yeah,
It's the Adam X of it's the Adam X of the Alien franchise.
Oh, we're totally burying it with these.
Okay, because
comments,
that's pretty
Dan.
obscure. That's pretty obscure. But I mean, seriously.
1992 Marvel almost bankrupted the company because it was so bad.
DC
But
could have bought them at that point, I think. I think that's a thing.
Comic
well,
nerds wouldn't buy comics that featured the most prominent boobs of any period in Marvel
They
history.
wouldn't. They wouldn't.
And the comics were so bad, people still weren't buying them.
There was a few points in
And if you can't sell boobs to
If you
adolescent
can't sell
teen
titties-
boys and Moira, you're failing at something.
Listen,
There's
I
a few
accept
point-
titties in all forms.
There's
but
a
not
few
that.
points in the 90s that Marvel was in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I
hair.
just, like I say, anything laudable about it. Laudable. Anything laudable about Alien 4.
Wow.
I mean,
It doesn't even have memorable sets.
No,
I
it doesn't.
guess-
The sets were horrible. The
the
casting
underwater
was
scene is
brilliant.
kind of cool for a moment.
Yeah, I did like the aliens, the way they had the aliens swim underwater. I'll give it that. That's the one
Kind of
good
like
thing.
an alligator.
Yeah, that was a good look, and it was something they hadn't done before.
It did
But-
hint that the aliens were supremely more adaptable than first suggested.
But they didn't do anything with it.
I mean, Sigourney Weaver still did a good job considering the shit she was given. Weaver.
No,
Weaver.
she changed her name for this film to protect her dignity.
It didn't work.
No.
But bringing Sigourney Weaver back was the first mistake. No offense to Sigourney Weaver, she had a fantastic character arc in the first three films. Everything about it, just the way her character changed and grew and adapted, was amazing. Her character arc parallels that of an alien, and I think it
On
a certain level that was
out of
kind
an
of subtly
alien? Or like,
clever.
I
No,
thought
just
the
the way
aliens
she.
came out of you.
No,
or like-
no.
She was birthed from a chest burst.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Understandable.
Wow. Bill,
I can't believe
Help.
we haven't mentioned the chest burst yet at all.
Yeah, it's like
help.
don't-
Everyone
don't
knows
they-
that from the movies. Like, there's not much to say about it that hasn't been said.
I mean, that's true. It's just... Well,
Yeah, but anyway, Alien 4 was just
And I can't help you with that, Dan. I'm like Ron Perlman with the script to Alien 4.
really baffled.
Baffled, confused, and unable to rescue it at all.
Yeah, that's fair. But you know what that does do is bring us to the next one, Aliens versus Predators.
I don't like
does
that
it?
movie.
I thought we weren't covering those.
Why
We'll
not?
throw 'em in.
We'll throw them in. We're
might as
34
well.
minutes in. We're
I mean, I
34
haven't
minutes in.
watched Alien versus Predator since, when did it come out? 2002?
Something like that, yeah.
2004,
And I think I was
2005.
drunk. Maybe I saw it in theaters with my friends. I remember that, and that's all I remember about it.
Yeah, well, it takes place up north. And, they brought Lance Henriksen back in, which was a good idea, sort of, I think. Although they retcon him horribly in the Prometheus and Covenant films.
I
Every
mean,
time-
it's probably retconned better than she's back alive and now has alien DNA.
Holy shit, I was right. It was 2004. I just guessed that.
You were right about something?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good at dates and stuff.
You've done it. Sorry, I'm putting on my friendship bracelets.
Well, now that Ryan has had their moment, does anybody want to talk about aliens versus predators?
I'd like to pretend I didn't see these movies personally.
I hated them.
I don't remember either
I
of them,
saw
but I
one.
also remember not liking them.
It was stupid.
I didn't mind the first one that much. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't what I wanted or expected.
It was better than Freddy versus Jason, I'll give it that.
Ooh, I'm not entirely sure I want to argue with you or not. Freddy versus Jason was just unadulterated crap, but so was first Alien versus Predator.
Yes.
So, however, because when I saw the original title, when I heard they were going to do this,
I think
film,
it was mostly just like the aliens and predators more
I was
generic
gonna
slasher
say
characters.
that's why because Bill's not a big slasher person.
Well, I didn't
My
expect
chair
them to do a bottle episode, right? With this, I thought it would be like this big war on Earth between these two alien species.
There you go. I'm
Yeah.
taller now.
There you are.
Hi.
But I thought so much that they could have done that they never bothered to do. They turned it into this little isolation bottle episode up north,
Oh,
and it was like, it would have been a good half-hour warm up, to the movie, but it was just.
See, but they did the big war in the second one, and it was even worse.
But-
Dark Horse spoiled me on that.
Well, part of the problem with
Dark
these movies too is that, God, they couldn't have any likable characters, could they?
No, because the humans exist just to die. Like any slasher-style horror movie, you can't make the humans too likable because the point of the movie is the catharsis of watching them die.
The
Yeah.
second one objectively has better human
so-
characters,
No, it doesn't.
but for like the few main ones, they're better than like all of the people in the first one, and then. But the second one is just one of the worst movies I've ever watched.
I guess the question is then, which is worse, Aliens 4
2.
or Alien versus Predators 2?
Aliens vs. Predator 2.
Alien
No.
4.
Alien 4.
Alien vs. Predator 2.
hi, I'm
Because at least
here.
I can turn my brain off and laugh at 4.
The disappointment factor is higher for
I'm
Alien
helping.
4.
No,
I
I
mean,
disagree.
once again, I would rather watch Alien 4 than Aliens vs. Predator 2, but it's objectively a worse movie. It's just so bad, it's funny.
Yeah, Aliens 4, basically, the only thing that could have made it worse
Oh, he's
was bringing Jim
dying.
Henson in.
Oh, there you go.
Right. If you brought Jim Henson in, you could have made it worse. That's about it. Aliens versus Predators Requiem is just the stupidest, most baffling piece of crap.
But
Why did they do it this way?
Well, don't
What's with
forget-
the teen angst and the crap in it.
don't forget the build-up that movie would have had, considering the cliffhanger of the first one, and that it was like 4 or 5 years after that it came out too.
Okay, I can speak to this because I saw the first one in theaters, and so did all my friends. And none of us remembered or gave a shit about that cliffhanger by the time the second one came out.
Probably not, because it was like 4 or 5 years. They took too long.
Yeah, but they also didn't utilize it.
We didn't remember
They
the cliffhanger
did.
by
They
like the
terribly
next day.
utilized
We were
it.
just like, that movie was shit, and forgot about everything else.
Like
The
Matrix
first one was
3.
bad enough that there was no hype for the second.
It's
The
the
only-
whole plot of the second one, accidentally, because it's about
Yeah,
the fucking crossbreed. It's about
accidentally.
the crossbreed of the alien and the predator, and you don't even get to see the fucking creature. Barely at all, because they fucking don't put the lights on because they don't want you to see because it looks so shitty.
I'm glad I didn't watch
That's true. I've
these
seen it
movies.
in light. I've seen like the model lit up.
It did have boobies in it. So
Did?
just so you know, it did.
Aw.
Aliens vs. Predator 2 Requiem head boobies.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it, Moira.
Aw.
It's really not.
Aw.
I thought Aliens 4 was for me just a pinnacle of crap. Right?
That's how I feel about Requiem.
It was
Pinnacle of
basically Jeff Goldblum walking in going, that is one big pile of crap. Really, it's exactly
And the
what-
first-
Alien 4 is definitely the worst movie in the franchise.
Oh, hands down.
Well,
It's
Like, the only reason I like it more than some of the others is because I enjoy watching a train wreck sometimes.
well,
I
That's
love
why I
watching a train
associate
wreck
with
too,
other
but
people on this podcast.
That's
Hi.
right. That's why we humor Ryan's movie choices. Right?
I
You know,
like video games.
I
Next month, you get to be judgmental of all of us.
Yay!
Yeah.
before we move
control-
on,
I can't wait.
before we move on to the newer stuff, I was just gonna say I also don't think that the first Alien vs. Predator was barely any better. But the thing that makes it better than the second one is the Predators are actually pretty badass in the first one. They carry like their name's Ric Flair.
I see, and that was what I struggled with, was the fact that they didn't give the Predators in the first AVP the same intimidating, slightly mysterious presence that they had in the first Predator movie. The first Predator movie, they were smart enough to keep them hidden for most of it. And this one, they were just a bunch of really big, muscly dudes running around with masks on.
Yeah, they were basically the humans from the first Predator movie,
Yeah,
just with masks.
yeah, they're just big, muscly guys with masks. And I
And
like
yet they're still the best part.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you because they are the best part of the movie, but there's a huge difference between the best part and actually vaguely good.
I said it's barely better than the second one.
I agree with that assessment. I honestly, the only thing I think, and Dan's going to hate this comment, but the only thing I think that makes the first one better than the second is that the first one is a bottle episode, which keeps it from getting as over-the-top stupid.
I don't hate that comment. I kind of agree with it. It did manage to contain the filmmakers from getting just too out of hand. It did. Right. Can we just go on to Prometheus?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Why not?
Okay, Prometheus.
I didn't want to talk about those
Opinions.
movies to begin with. So this is your fault.
Yeah, suck it up.
Now we
Okay,
never have to talk about them again, because if they didn't get in here, they were getting in when we finally tackled the Predator.
Fuck those
franchise.
movies. You're not getting the fucking thumbnail.
I'm here.
Okay, hello.
I'm
You haven't
helping.
seen? Have you seen Prometheus, Moira?
No,
Wow.
I don't know what the fuck we're
I
talking
don't know what the hell
about.
we've been talking about this whole podcast. I'm just
I like the
smiling.
video games.
Wait, you sick? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
your
on.
face is
We see
there.
you. We see you. Why not?
It says recording on my screen.
Yeah, it says recording on mine.
Yeah, same here. We all have red lights. Ryan does not.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, we always knew Ryan
this
was a green
podcast
light
got
kind
better.
of person. Yeah. What's with always having the green light on, Ryan? Wow, you were just... don't you discriminate at all? Must be Wolfman.
Alright.
Maybe we just start a new recording here.
As Moira pulls out her Switch.
Hold on.
End this recording and just start another one and then just patch them together.
Yeah.
That
Or
works.
see if he comes back.
Hi.
Hi.
All right.
I like your sweater.
Okami. Thank you. I have Okami.
Okay,
No,
now I'm
you're back.
recording again, apparently. Okay,
Okay.
that's gonna probably look weird in the...
That's okay.
My audio might have recorded, I can't tell. That's gonna be really fun to see
People will
afterwards.
be able to figure it out pretty quick from context clues.
Yeah. So anyway, we might have just lost a couple minutes of recording there, but that's okay. We were gonna
It
move
was
on
only
into talking
between
about
movies,
Prometheus.
so it was like
Yeah.
the best time for it to happen. We didn't
Exactly.
lose anything important.
We're
What
going to
are
talk
you
about
doing,
Prometheus
Moira?
now.
I'm showing my Switch.
Nice Switch. It's blue.
Thank you. It's got little dittos on it.
I personally like the Doctor Strange poster in the background.
I don't. What?
Oh, yeah, I gave her that Doctor Strange poster years ago.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's from the 2015,
That is a good one. That was a good run.
Yeah,
ongoing.
it's my fave. I have a bunch of gay ones around the room, but my camera is not
She does.
there.
Yeah.
So it's over there.
Anyways, Prometheus.
Prometheus. Okay, Ryan, start.
Oh,
Opinions.
it's a good
ideas.
movie.
Okay, well, thank you.
It's the thing is
Well said.
not to spoil anything, but if you look at Prometheus and Alien Covenant in the bubble, they go the same trajectory as the first two Alien and Aliens movies, as in Prometheus is yet again the suspense one, and the Alien Covenant is more about the action.
I'm so glad I'm here.
And you know, it's funny because I didn't consider Covenant to be that much of an action movie.
It's not.
It was, yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I didn't consider either of them to be action films. You know,
No, but if you compare the two together, Alien Covenant has way more in it.
Yeah, it is definitely different than Prometheus.
Yeah,
It's a lot more relatable.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem Prometheus had was they marketed it as part of the Alien franchise.
Yeah, they did.
And it's really not. It's set in the same universe, but there's no aliens in it.
Yeah.
And people went to it expecting aliens and then hated it because they weren't there. If they had just marketed it as a sci-fi movie, and then when you watched it, you realized it tied into Alien, I think it would have a much better reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, because when I watched Prometheus, all I kept thinking was, wow, he's trying to do way too much in one film.
It is a lot for one movie.
Right. He's got so many concepts, so many ideas that he's trying to jam in here, and he's trying to jam them all into one movie.
Yeah, and part of that was I think he had pressure to tie it somehow to the existing Alien lore, whereas if they had been able to do it and then maybe another movie to cover all that stuff, it could have been really popular, because it's not a bad movie, but people remember it being terrible because they were so disappointed that there were no aliens in it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess just the way they ended it didn't really help either.
No, but that was forced in by the studio just to give you some tie to the actual Alien movies, because they hoped that doing that would keep people from yelling at them that there were no aliens in the Alien movie.
Yeah, but it did have the benefit of Michael Fassbender.
That's always a strong benefit.
Both these movies do. And that's part of the. I was trying to send an image for Moira to see the big white creature from Prometheus, since Moira's never seen the movie.
I said something better.
I saw that.
It's Handsome Jack.
Prometheus still has a really solid story.
Oh, it does, absolutely.
It has a great story, in fact, but you gotta go with what it's showing you. If you get stuck in the alien realm of things, you're gonna bog yourself down.
Yeah, it has World War Z syndrome. It's an actually pretty good movie that gets hurt by its own branding.
It gets hurt by its own branding. It gets hurt by its own weight.
Yeah.
Right? There's so much. Again, there's just so much to this film. You have this excellent cast. You have excellent sets, design. Visually, this film is just staggering.
Yes.
There's so much about this film that's absolute gorgeous.
Both of these movies are visually stunning, but Prometheus especially excels on the visuals.
Yes. The visual, in my mind, the visual effects that they did on this were just incredible. And yet, in the end, it didn't do that well.
No,
right? Because
I think a lot of it was that's the branding.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was trying to tie it into the Aliens universe, if they hadn't tried to do that, I think this movie would have done much better.
I mean,
Yeah.
the plot twist is cool, but it's like, I mean, he gave us Covenant, and I'm happy to have Covenant. So
Yeah.
And that's another problem. It has this plot twist when you realize it's in the Alien movie,
Yeah.
in the Alien universe, but then they marketed it as part of the Alien franchise, so the plot twist doesn't work because you already know.
Yeah, that's true. And it also doesn't make that much sense in a lot of ways, right? By trying to sort of suggest that, everything is all tied together.
Yeah,
in the
well,
end.
honestly,
You're like, no.
I don't think, because this was at the start of franchise mania with modern movie studios, and I don't think Prometheus was intended to be an Alien movie.
Not originally, I can't see it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel at all like it's intended. And then I feel like, and I don't have anything to go on, this is my own theory, but it just feels like studio execs went, this would sell better if it was part of the Alien franchise.
Yeah,
And shoehorned in some Alien references, and shoehorned in references to Whale and Yutani, just so that people go, oh, this is Aliens, and then actually watch it.
Yeah, and I know Ridley Scott did fight against a lot of that because his vision and what hit the screen were two very, very different things.
Yeah,
But-
I know that
but-
too, and that's part of why I believe it wasn't intended to be an Alien movie at all.
Yeah, and that's why when they did Alien Covenant, they decided, at least from what I can tell, to blend the Alien universe with Ridley Scott's Prometheus universe a lot more directly.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
that was actually written to be an Alien
Specifically.
movie, whereas
Yeah.
Prometheus really wasn't, and so they had to shoehorn it in, and it ended up being the worst parts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just this time the aliens grow from spores as much as anything, and it's just like, oh my God. Really? It's just...
Don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on where they're trying to fix things that they don't need to fix.
yeah,
They're adding a lot more to it than is necessary. Stop and look at what worked for Alien, what worked for Aliens, the first two films.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could do a hard, thoughtful sci-fi in the Alien universe properly.
You could.
Like, you could make a movie with the feel of Prometheus, but set it firmly in the established Alien universe, and it would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
Anybody?
no,
Ryan?
I'm ready for Covenant.
Okay, do it.
Well, on to the last movie of the franchise, Alien Covenant from 2017. Honestly, I really enjoyed this movie. So, I mean, this movie has brilliant performances because he's technically playing two characters from Michael Fassbender. My God, does he steal the show?
No, Danny McBride steals the show. Michael Fassbender's just kind of there. Come on. Danny McBride was the best part of the film.
I don't even remember which one he is.
Oh, God.
Well, I don't know. I can't place the actor name like Moira was having an issue with earlier.
Yeah, she's just playing with her phone case.
I don't know what movie we're talking about.
Alien Covenant.
The fuck is that shit, bro?
It's one of the better
It's got
ones.
boobies.
Did you know that Puss in Boots beat Avatar? That's all the local movie news I have.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought Covenant was a really, really good film. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching it. But it, however, unfortunately you needed to watch Prometheus to catch a lot of the nuances of the second half of the film.
Yeah,
It's a great movie. You don't really have to watch.
because no one watched Prometheus.
Yeah. If you didn't watch Prometheus, a lot of it doesn't make any sense.
Fair enough.
And I
Right.
think my experience with Covenant was also benefited greatly from my experience with the previous iterations of the Alien franchise. Because by the time Covenant rolled around, I was pretty much convinced it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
So anything not terrible was going to get a pretty good rating from me just because I was expecting it to suck.
It's like, oh, you're not shit? Great.
Yeah, I thought it was going to suck, but it was going to have some fun alien scenes because they had, like, the scene of the alien on the outside of the spaceship or the land speeder in the previews and stuff, and I'm looking at that and thinking, like, there's going to be some fun effects in this. I'll go for that. And then it actually turned out to be a pretty decent movie, but as long as it wasn't awful, I was going to end up enjoying it.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice callback in a lot of ways to Aliens, in that although it wasn't really the action film that Aliens was, it was different from Aliens.
It still had aliens.
Thanks for adding on to my comparison.
Oh, anything you want, buddy.
Yeah.
Say the word.
I think it's more Prometheus that falls out of that comparison than Covenant.
Yeah.
Like, Covenant to Aliens
Absolutely.
works pretty well. It's just tying Prometheus to Alien, at least for me, doesn't really map.
Doesn't work at all. No, to me it didn't work at all. Right? Prometheus and Alien are so removed from each other. It's just...
Yeah, because, like, Prometheus is this cerebral sci-fi, and Alien is a closed environment horror.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a closet film, right? And Covenant, like I said, the first half of Covenant's fantastic.
Oh,
Bye.
you're no
not
longer recording.
Oh, there you are.
again.
Okay.
It's this mic. Anytime the
Weren't you going to
cord
plug
gets
the mic
busted off.
into something else?
No, it's the headset plugged into something else. But like, if the cord budges on the mic, it gets messed up. But
Oh.
that's
You know
why I
what you
try
need
not
to
to
do?
move too much.
Get a whole bunch of tape.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. You need to go to
Get
the...
a whole bunch of tape and tape that fucking cord to the bottom of the microphone so it won't
my
move.
friend just sent me a message. Will from work.
Oh God.
Who's the gay bastard you'd say I'd like in Borderlands?
That's great. Anyways,
Hold on,
wow.
all of them?
Yeah.
anyway, we were talking about we were
Covenant.
in our Covenant
We're
talk. I
talking about
guess.
Covenant, and again, like I said, the first half of that film is just it's quite interesting, and I was just glued to the screen. It got a little weird as we moved forward, and we introduced all the elements from Prometheus to tie the two of them together, and I thought, it did get a little weird. I really did start to lose some of the context for what was going on. But in the end, I didn't think Covenant was a bad film at all, and I enjoyed the experience of watching it. I really did.
Fair enough. Well, do we have any ended notes on our Alien franchise, really, or
I'm so glad I didn't watch it.
you
There you
probably
go.
should be? It's
There's
a lot of
two
hours
good ones.
not wasted.
Yeah, watch the first two, Alien and
Nah.
Aliens, and then just
Prometheus and
Collect
Covenant
else.
are fine if you like that stuff, but they're hardly must-see films.
they're
Yeah.
not must-see films unless you're willing, unless you haven't seen any of this, and you go in and watch Prometheus and Alien Covenant alone, just the two of them and nothing else. They can stand as their own franchise.
Yeah, and they should.
But
Like,
I'll just-
like I said, they're let down by the branding, same as like World
Yeah.
War Z, which would be a fine zombie movie, except they tied it to something that it's completely not.
Yeah. It's just Alien has created a legacy of really bad films. Which
Well, I
is
mean, that's true of
unfortunate.
just about any horror movie that gets sequels, though. They
Not
might have
Friday the
one or
13th.
two. At least half of the Friday the 13th are terrible.
No, they're not. They're all cinematic masterpieces. You
Friday the
judgmental
13th,
bastard.
4.
Brilliant. Ridiculous. Robbed of its Academy Awards. Robbed.
Yeah.
Oh God, Ryan's spreading.
No, I loved Friday the 13th movies. I thought they were so much fun.
I mean, they
Right.
can be fun and bad at the same time. Drive Angry
Can I-
exists.
Drive Angry is a legitimate film. Don't diss Drive Angry.
I like
love
the
it,
Leprechaun.
but it is bad.
love
It
that
is
movie.
objectively a terrible movie.
Oh, it's horrible. But
I like the Leprechaun. That's a good movie.
Oh, the Leprechaun series. Moira,
All of them.
They
Moira
are
could
fun.
run a podcast on those. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she could. She's watched every single one of them.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Back
But-
in the Hood. Wow.
I have to watch
wow.
it first.
God, that one existed.
And there's two of that
There's two
exact
of them.
one.
Yeah,
I've
Back
seen
in
the
the
first
Hood
one.
2.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 2.
Oh,
So
what?
bad.
Oh my god.
So great. And
The
then
only-
the 2018, 17, 16, the
It
2000
was,
one.
2018. I think.
2015.
They're
Oh.
still making them?
Yeah,
It's
they
bad.
made
rebooted the whole thing.
so WWE Studios made one with Hornswoggle in
Yeah.
2015, and then they made a sci-fi. Sci-fi made one in
Yeah.
2018 that
It
Moira
was
was probably
so
talking
bad. It
That
was
is-
You
so
guys are on your
bad.
own for your Leprechaun podcast. I'm not endorsing anything featuring Hornswoggle acting.
about. I've never seen them. It's just
Judgmental much?
I.
He did great.
I watched like
Maybe.
5 years of that guy wrestling. I don't need to watch him in movies too.
I like
Uh-huh.
Alexa Bliss. She's pretty.
Ooh.
No, wait.
I'm down with that, yeah.
Who's Ruby? No, the short hair. She's really pretty.
Yeah.
Who's that? Whoever she is. Asher and I at work saw a video of her, and we both had to step aside for 2 seconds to have gay panic. We were like,
Having watched Rampage last week, I'm not sure I can currently apply the phrase pretty after she Eddie Guerrero'd herself like 5 minutes into the match.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Played
here.
way too deep and almost bleed to death in front of a crowd of people.
That's hot.
It was ugly,
I like when,
but man, was that hard to watch.
Gotta send
Listen.
Moira that match now.
hold on. I like when people are bleeding.
That does
Okay.
not surprise me.
Yeah, we'll send Moira that match after. Anyway, let's kind of start ending this episode, maybe.
Yeah, let's put bail on this.
Before we say something else that ends up on a watch list.
So,
Thanks,
tune
way
back
too
in
late for that,
tomorrow
Bill.
for the main podcast. Bill and I are going to talk about the Marvel Comics as Dan's a loser who has to work.
Yeah, I have a job.
At least I know shit about Marvel and I read the comics. Man, I'm so glad I was here.
I'm half tempted to.
Why don't we replace Dan with Moira on the main
Yeah.
podcast anyway?
I thought it was scheduling issues.
Dan would probably like that, actually.
There
so.
would be less Spider-Man hate.
I like Spider-Man.
But,
Not my
yeah,
child.
Spider-Man is my favorite Spider-Man.
What about the Spider-Man in the wheelchair?
No, Spider-Man. He's just spiders in a suit. He's Spider-Man. He eats people. He's my favorite.
I don't know that one.
I do!
Edge of Spider-Verse 2.
It's,
He's real. He's my favorite.
he's very real.
Hold on. No, Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
I can't believe we're talking about spiders, man.
He's my favorite.
Wow.
He shoots literal
Oh, look,
spiders.
random Ruby Soho ended up in the group chat. I wonder how that happened.
I don't
Hold on. Jeez, he's so good. Oh, hello?
Spider-Man.
So yeah, come back.
Spiders!
Come back for that tomorrow. Oh, here it is.
There he is.
Yep, there he is. Anyways, upcoming bonus episodes. Let's tease those.
Spiders, man.
Okay.
Next month, we're gonna have Moira back because we're finally gonna talk about video games, and
Yay.
Moira will have a lot of fun with that one. It won't
Yay.
be like, why am I here?
Hey.
So we're gonna talk about our favorite video games next month. We don't know the layout of it yet, but we'll figure it
Borderlands.
out. Yes.
Monkey Island.
But you didn't
Okay,
even know when I sent you the photo that it was Monkey Island. How
Calm
can it be your
down.
favorite game?
Ashball Date.
I played more of them than you have.
Oh my god.
I
That's
played
true.
all of them.
That's true.
Don't spoil too much, guys. Then we're gonna do Never Game in One in March, I believe, and then for April,
Yeah, we were going to do favorite games and then least favorite games.
yes, least favorites / disappointments. So. And no, the disappointment isn't me this time. And then for
It's
April,
me.
It's
The
real.
disappointment is always you.
wow. Okay. And,
Marvel Avengers. That was a shitty game.
yeah.
Sorry.
We'll save it though. And then for April, we're gonna come back and do the Sharknado franchise. So come back the next 3 months, couple video game ones, and then Sharknado. All of them we should have Moira for, because they're all topics Moira can actually discuss.
I like
so.
video games. We should do a Batman video game one.
Oh,
We
the
can
Arkham
at some
Asylum.
point.
Yeah.
That's
We
my
can at some point.
best
We'll do-
video game series off of a comic book.
We'll do our favorite / best video games one next month, and then in March we'll do our worst / disappointments, and then we'll do Sharknado franchise, and then we'll decide from there.
And maybe we can do a podcast about comic book adaptations to film.
That actually would be a really fun one, too.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can talk about
We'll
the
discuss
trash
it.
that was Mortal Kombat.
That's a video game to film adaptation.
Yeah,
That's a video game.
whatever. It's still crap.
Yes.
Anyways,
But that's not a comic book.
It
There
is a
was a
comic
Mar-
book. There was a comic book.
There was a comic book, but it's based off the game.
So,
Dan just wants
Oh.
to complain about Mortal Kombat.
I
yeah,
mean,
because it's crap.
I mean,
It
the
is-
first two Mortal Kombats were both crap and shockingly entertaining.
oh yeah. The new Mortal Kombat
Wow.
has Joker
Really?
from Batman. Yeah, I mean him.
I assume you're talking about the game. I was
The
talking about the
game.
movies.
the game.
Yeah, but
I would
yeah,
not
the
call the
movie-
first two Mortal Kombat games crap.
No, they're good.
Oh, well, we can
They're
do one
fine.
comic books to movies and then video games to movies. How's that?
Sure.
Yeah, find a good video game to movie adaptation.
It's me, Mario.
I'm so stressed out about the Borderlands movie. I'm so stressed out about the Borderlands movie. I'm
It's going
so
to be shit,
stressed
and you can
out.
pretend it doesn't exist. That's the best way to deal with
I'm
it.
so stressed, but the actors are. It has Jack Black and everybody in it. They're such good actors, and I'm oh my god. And
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
What, they
cast was
put
amazing.
good actors in the Uncharted movie, and it was still shit.
I haven't
No,
actually.
they
I
did.
didn't
They,
realize.
they had the Tom Hart. No, what the hell's the name of the guy that played
They
Spider-Man?
had Spider-Man in it.
Yeah,
He's
what's
a
his
good
name?
actor, I think. I don't know.
He's a good actor when he's not playing Nate Drake.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just horrible.
It
I
was
haven't
horrible.
seen
That
it.
was my point. You take a good story from a good game franchise and put
Man,
decent
Uncharted.
actors in it, and you
What a
still
good
get
game.
crap because Hollywood can't adapt video
Oh,
games.
The Last of Us is amazing. The TV show for The Last of Us is fucking
Oh,
sick.
it's so good.
It's fucking
so
sick.
Good. Talk about good casting.
How topical.
Listen, that's some
Oh,
good shit right there.
It is worth watching. You need to see this film.
That's like my
dad
favorite
was just
game.
Yeah,
talking about it.
I
Or
could
show.
watch it,
Show.
or I
You need
could
to see
watch
it.
season 2 of Vox Machina. I know which one I'm picking.
The Last
Okay.
of Us, first episode was incredible.
Okay.
Just incredible.
I'm gonna end this now.
Let's end this now.
Please like, subscribe, comment, whichever you like to if you're on YouTube. We're also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. I don't know why anybody would come back, but please come back next month if you enjoy it. And,
Please.
We'll be even more unfocused, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we will see you all in the next episode of whichever podcast you tune into, and peace out.
Have a good